Okay, now a little bit more about viewports. As you can see, we've got our top, front, left, and perspective viewports. Let's start by learning how to set the viewports up for a Max project. Okay, if we were to grab, let's say, a teapot and bring it into our perspective viewport over here, you would see that the teapot is solid in our perspective viewport, but not in the other ones. If you look up here, you'll see that it says default shading. Okay, what we want to do is we want to change the other viewports so that they also show default shading. And the reason is because sometimes it can get very confusing very fast. For instance, if you had a lot of objects, you can see how confusing this could become. Now, if you might have noticed that I just keep making teapots, well, when you click on something, it'll just keep making more and more and more of those things unless you either click on some other button or right click. So here I will right click and I'll get rid of all these things simply by drawing a marquee around them, selecting them all, as you can see over here in my Scene Explorer, and pushing delete on my keyboard. Let's go back to just one teapot. Selecting the teapot, and you can see it turns blue. Dragging it out, and there it is. I've got a teapot. You can tell that this teapot is selected because it has this blue marquee around it. So if I want to stop making teapots, you can see it's blue here. All I have to do is right click my mouse button. You see it's no longer blue, and I am no longer making teapots. By the way, it's not selected now. You can see there's no blue outline around it. When I hover over it, the outline turns to a golden color. If I click on it, it'll select it, and you'll see the blue outline around it. Okay, changing these viewports. If you click in any of the viewports, you'll see it becomes active. Note the gold box around it. With the viewport selected, just go up to these drop-down menus and you'll see where it says wireframe. If you hover your cursor over the word wireframe, it'll turn gold. You click on that and you'll get a drop-down menu. Select the very first item in the drop-down menu, default shading, and you'll see that the wireframe has now become a solid object. You'll want to do that in all of your viewports before you start a project, because once again, wireframe can become very confusing very fast. So that is how you set up for a Max project.